I can remember standing in the queue, like holding this little pair of slippers, and I was just like blubbing, like.
Hi, I'm Beth.
I'm Jamal, and today we're joined with our friend Josie.
Isn't he beautiful?
Such a beautiful face.
What's up, guys? How's it
So
going?
good to have you on our
Lovely
channel.
house you've got here.
Oh,
Thank
well,
you.
thanks.
Thank you. So today we're going to be talking about what it's like to transition from being a husband, which Joseph is,
I am.
to then having no kids, to then having a beautiful 17-month-old baby.
Yes, we have a baby. It's been a wild year and a bit. And I am a husband too, to the beautiful Megan. You would be able to see her on our channel.
Shout out Megan.
But hey Megan, love you.
So tell us first of all, like, what it was like as a husband, just living your life.
Pre-baby life.
Pre-baby. What was your lifestyle?
Pre-baby life.
Pre-baby.
Feels like many moons ago, Jamal. I remember pre-baby life as being like super extrovert and just having things on like every single night, whether that's a meeting or something social. And I would have described myself back then as like 101% extrovert, and always kind of filling up the diary with things that I really wanted to do, some things that, you don't want to do, like work stuff and bits and bobs like that, and just making stuff happen. But yeah, I just remember being out all the time, out of the house. I feel like I'm not really out of the house as much as I used to be. Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what made you and Megan wanna? I mean, did you always want to have kids? Did you want to have kids in this time? Like,
Oh, we're going
was it
there.
like a
Yeah.
planned thing? Was it like a?
It was spontaneous, planned.
Okay.
It was like we always wanted to have kids. We always knew that was something that, particularly part of Megan's sort of calling, destiny, and her dreams, like do involve kids ministry and having our own kids and things like that. There's potential. Wow. There's also things like adoption and fostering on the cards, maybe. And yeah, I basically quite soon after we got married just said to Megan, like, listen, whenever you're ready, like, I'm ready. Okay, you say the word. So I was ready pretty early on. But I think most of that came from a place of just knowing that she would be an amazing mum. In fact, I remember the week we met, I remember thinking, like, I want this girl to raise my kids, like 100%. I knew that she was the only girl for the job. Okay? So, yeah. I was like, I'm ready for you to mama my babies. Whenever you're ready. And then, yeah, I think one summer, we just come back from like a camping trip, and after that Megan was just like, I'm ready. Let's do it!
How does that make you feel?
So I was basically always ready. I didn't know at that stage like what kind of impact it has on your life, in what ways. People say all kinds of like different stuff, and you're not sure which bits to take. People love Chang though, don't they? They love just inputting whether it's helpful or not. And so I think first piece of advice, if we're gonna go there, would be to just like, people are going to say stuff, but you just got to take a day at a time, because you and the mother, father of your child are different to anyone else in the world, and your baby is different to everyone else in the world. So just take a day at a time and just, do you.
Good advice.
So good.
Really good advice.
So Megan gets pregnant. Talk to us about the transition of that whole, pregnancy journey, and like how it was for you as a husband to see your wife
that's really
transition.
interesting.
So, again, I remember pre-baby us being, pretty wild. We'd go on all kinds of like spontaneous adventures and do spontaneous things, and we were flying all over the world. And it's not, I don't look back and be like, oh, those were the glory days, because it's even more glorious now. We got a little baby, right? It's just really different. And I can remember, as Megan got more and more pregnant, I found we were less sort of I had to become more caring and more aware of what was going on, and so it was a kind of a different dynamic where we would run together as like we need to be sort of checking up on each other a bit more, like how we're doing, like how we're doing physically as well.
Was that a natural kind of process, you transitioning into being more caring, or was it more like you had conversations about it?
I think, yeah, it was natural, because I think we were both, so excited to see little baby at that point, right? And so you want to make those conscious decisions to be thinking about the baby, and you want to be, because if the mother is less stressed, then the baby is less stressed. Like, I don't have to prove that, right? That is both science and that is both God. Like, what is happening with mum is happening with baby.
Yeah.
And I think as mum is nurturing and growing this baby inside the belly, as the dad, as the man, like, we've got to be nurturing and caring for the mum. Like, and that was the role that was like, it was a bit of a surprise. I was like, oh, I'm like caring for Megan like a lot more and like keeping an eye on her a lot more as she does this. But she was a killer, like, pregnant woman. She was rocking that bump, yo. and loving it too.
Yeah.
Again, everyone's different, right? Some people find it a lot harder to be pregnant, maybe because they can't do some things they thought they could do, or some people get a little bit more sick. Like, everyone is different, and you'll be different from the next person or from the closest person to you. And Megan's body, reacted really good to it. And she was super healthy, and so I'm really thankful to God for that.
Was there anything that you didn't expect to feel or to experience while she was in that pregnant state?
Yeah, I mean, it took me a long time to connect with baby. Right? Because she's like, every day, like, oh, I'm experiencing this, I'm experiencing that, and like ticking off all these things, you know? And like, wow. And for me, it's just like,
Cool.
I kind of wish I was doing the same, but I'm kind of not.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and so again, just kind of pouring that energy into Megan rather than baby. There's not much going on. And I remember the day I connected though.
Yeah.
It was just before we had a scan to see the baby for the first time. I went to the shop and I bought a cute little tiny pair of slippers, like, for baby. And I wrote a note from baby to mum so that as soon as she finished the scan, I could hand her the little gift and be like, but not from me, from baby. It said like, dear mum, like, it was so good to meet you today, like that kind of thing.
That is the cute.
Looking, that kind of thing.
And
I can remember.
Romeo.
I can remember standing in the queue, like holding this little pair of slippers, and I was just like blubbing, like. Can anyone see? Right. Why am I crying? I'm just holding this tiny little thing. That was a moment where I started to connect. Yeah. And every day, obviously, like, just trying to basically speak to baby. They say, like, the baby gets used to dad's voice, like, the more dad speaks to Bump. So I would speak over Bump regularly, you know, encouraging things and loving things and prayers and things like that. So, tried to, get in there with the whole connecting thing. But, it wasn't easy at first.
What was it like for you to watch Megan go through labour and give birth?
It was the best day ever. It was, again, everyone's experience is totally different. I can't even say it enough in this video if that's what we're talking about. Everyone has different wins and different not so great experiences, shall we call them. And again, we had just a beautiful labour. And I remember afterwards, Megan said that she really enjoyed herself.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
It wasn't long. It wasn't traumatic, from what I can remember. It was quite quick, and so it was a little bit sort of shocking afterwards. Like, whew. Wow, that just happened like so quick. I can remember the day because it was like I was a groomsman at one of my like really close friends' wedding that day. And I had the suit ready out, and I woke up that morning, you know, ready for the wedding. Yeah. But then, I look at Megan, and she's on the floor like, it's happening. And so, it was just a wild day.
Wow.
And
so you didn't go to the wedding, you went.
Yes, we didn't go to the wedding. We were in the hospital for like an hour. until we saw baby. It was an hour and 10 minutes, and we had baby in our arms.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so quick. I mean, you hear about people having 24, 36 hour labours.
But I think, again, because Megan is such a good mum and was such a good pregnant lady, she was really she knew what she wanted to do, like on the day and the days leading up, and to just like maximum relaxation. In fact, even as soon as I woke up, I ran out like a hot bath. We had the oils and the candles going, all that kind of thing. Because again, if mum isn't stressed, then baby isn't stressed. Like it should be natural. It should be it's what we're created to do. It's what mum's created to do. Like it just can't. Yeah. As dad, it's my job. Okay, how do I care for mum so she can care for baby? And how do I create a sort of stress-free environment for mum so it's a stress-free environment for baby? I had never actually changed a nappy in my whole life until day one of Hepzibah. And there's my first ever nappy, and I had zero baby experience. I was kind of watching Megan very closely because she's like pretty skilled. She's done a lot of sort of nannying, childcare, with her friends and family, that kind of thing. She knows her stuff. So I just watched her carefully for the first few days and then just copied what I saw. But I know that I was just buzzing for it. I was.
And so like fatherhood in general, I mean, in terms of your relationship with Hepzibah, how has that changed your view on life, your view on who you are, like your relationship with God?
I could write a book every week. I could write a book every single week on what being, on things I've learned as a father. It's just crazy. I don't even know where to begin right now, but just
wherever you want to begin.
Wow, where do I begin? I think it makes you really step back because, of course, as adults and as grown people, we're always trying to, achieve huge things or aim high and sort out big life decisions and business and finance and all these kind of things. But teaching a baby to hold the rattle, it just brings you right down into that moment. And it's just so simple and so beautiful. And you're like, I'm just like, none of these things matter right now. I'm just teaching my little girl to grip, and to grip my finger. I'm just showing her how to do it, like something that we forgot, like we learned to do that one day as well. And so that's what I remember really hitting me, and that was that first month, just like, wow, like my priorities and what was at the forefront of my mind is so different right now. The small, simple things. When you have a baby, it's like you're doing for you what suddenly feels like something really small and really tiny and really, I guess, not part of a huge picture. It can sometimes feel like, and maybe that's why some parents, particularly fathers, find it hard to connect, is because it's like, well, I'm going to work and I've got to drive this big car and run this business and earn this money and do this thing. But it's like, how can we bring ourselves into that moment?
To be present.
To really connect and just forget all that big stuff for a second and just focus here. It was a little bit shocking.
Wow. How do you feel like your relationship with Megan, if it has changed, with having a child in the mix?
It's changed so much, definitely. And I think going back to that caring thing, I think I have to, just because Megan is so good at caring for Hepzibah, like I've said 50,000 times. I've got to keep an eye out for Megan a little bit more and just check that she's okay. And to be honest, even recently there was a point, she'll laugh because it is kind of funny, but there was one point where Hepzibah, I came home and she was eating like a queen, she had her food. I was like, oh, it's so good, like she's eating so well and eating all what she should be, some good veg and all that kind of thing. But we didn't have any food in the house, and it was for me and her. And we were like, so what are we going to eat? And it was classic, she, really just puts Hepzibah, before anything else.
As you
really,
do,
as you do, and as you should do. But we we laughed about it at the time because it's like, great, so we've got like a piece of bread and she's got this like amazing meal. So it's like, I've got to, keep an eye out for us and her, make sure Megan is looking after herself. Because she's just so good at looking after her baby.
But like, if you have like one piece or however many pieces of advice for people who are watching who perhaps don't have children yet, or even us, like we don't have children yet, but we'd love to have children. As a dad, as a husband, like what would you say to expecting parents?
I think just like I said before, like people are going to say stuff. Like take each day as it comes, take each week as it comes, because there'll be a different high and a different not so great experience. So just slow down and just do what you two do. Okay, you can listen, that's fine, but don't feel you got to take it on. So that's probably and it's the same with marriage actually, isn't it? Like people say stuff, people say, oh, the old ball and chain and like things like this, which aren't helpful really. It's like, oh, marriage is hard, and they just say stuff like I don't think it has to be like that. Just like bring it in, like communicate with each other and take each day as it comes.
And thank you so much for sharing stuff with us. And
finally got around to doing a video.
We talked about this for like a year.
Definitely. It's been good. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Go over to Joseph's channel, Joseph the Dreamer.
Yeah, comes up.
There's loads of fun stuff on there. Subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed.
See you next time. Thank you so much, guys.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.